Does he, Christ is the divine warrior, the Lord of the armies of heaven. How does he overcome that temptation that Satan's putting at him to show yourself to be the Son of God?
If you love your enemy, you don't have any, because they all become your brothers, right? Like, slaying of evil is when it gets absorbed into the good, right? of the descent into Hades is Christ dragging everyone up, right, into the good, dragged up out of, it's transformed. The whore of Babylon doesn't defile the bride defiles the whore of Babylon, right? The good.
Because loving your enemies is not somehow advanced Christian living. Loving your enemies is basic Christian living. Now, Christians fail at it all the time because it's really hard. Sometimes loving your enemy means standing against them, but there are limits to that. If you can grow in learning to love an enemy, the light of Christ can shine through you.
Love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Perfect, therefore, as your Father in heaven is perfect. They tend to project onto that verse the particular aspect of perfection that they have at the top of their value hierarchy. And for many people, especially many church people, it tends to be scrupulosity with respect to, let's say, law keeping. And what's interesting with Jesus is Jesus tends to undercut scrupulosity. What actually Jesus highlights here is not scrupulosity with respect to certain codes of law, but disposition to love one's enemies.
And so you need a motivating factor that's going to make you do the right thing. Maybe my life will get worse if I clean up my room. And it's very possible that it might. Whatever it is, if you believe in God or the universe or fate or whatever it is, it gives, it takes away. Are you going to be like Job and accept it?
Yeah.
And continue to be righteous?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to get bitter and decide to do all these other things?
Yeah.
We proceed in this Beast Men What's in the Book stream. There's this angle I want to take, and it's how you love your neighbor. Now, if your neighbor is doing something that's terrible to them and others, perhaps, just maybe, perhaps loving them is stopping them.
Right.
Love your enemy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And sometimes your spouse is your enemy, So there are times that you have to.
Sometimes I'm my enemy.
Yes, exactly. I am my own worst enemy completely all the time.